So, welcome. I am Michelle Gifford from I'mMichelleGifford.com. I'm a mom to 5, and this is the day's first ever the Biz Mom Show. And it's going to be good, and I have some things I want to talk about today about creating a summer schedule for you and your kids, because I think that is the biggest thing I hear from mom people is that it's great, right? We love summer. Summer is my favorite, but how do we still get anything done with all of our kids at home? Now, I know that all of you are in different phases of life. So I want to know in the comments, tell me what your age range is for your kids. Okay, because this is going to help me. We're going to talk about different ages, because guess what? I have a 14-year-old, I have a 5-year-old, and I've been doing business the whole time I've had babies. And so because of that, I can talk about this. So that's what we're talking about. I want to know how old your kids are. And then if you guys see that little arrow down at the airplane at the bottom and you have people that need this, then will you send this to them? Let's get them on. Let's get them talking. Okay, so we have age ranges from 8 to 14, 10, 6-year-old, 3-year-old, 1-year-old, 9 and 11, 10 and 4, 10 to 4, 9 to newborn coming in 3-ish weeks. Congratulations. 2 to 10, 18 and 16, 2-year-old twins. We're praying for you, Catherine. Elizabeth, 16, 14, 12, 9, and 6. You're just ahead of me. I just have a 14 down to a 5-year-old. 8, 6, 4, and 1. Okay, so we have across the board, right? We have teenagers, and we also, I know Lisa has kids out of the house, and so we have all phases, and that's awesome. That's awesome, because we're moms, and we're in it for all of it. Hazel has from 5 to 17, and 2 adults. Nice work. That's a lot of kids. Good job. Okay, so let's figure this out. Now, before we actually figure this out, I have 2 rules. Okay, I have kind of been putting off talking about motherhood because I fear I'm always a little bit afraid to offend or to be judged, honestly, because I think motherhood is so vulnerable, especially when we're talking about motherhood in business, because I think there's this thing that's like, well, you can't be a good mom and a good business owner. Like, you couldn't possibly be there for your kids and still run a successful business. Like, there's always that like talk, right, in your head, maybe not out loud, but I felt like we need to talk about this, and so we're going to talk about it. It's going to be a community thing, and so I want to introduce you to 2 rules that you are going to take, just feel and adopt. And then I'm going to tell you how I set things up, and then we're going to have either questions or questions and suggestions. Okay, so I know that you guys I'm not the only expert. I want to get information and I want to get help from you. So the 2 rules are this. Number 1, take what fits and leave the rest. I'm not sure that was hard. Take what fits and leave the rest. I'm going to say things. You're going to say, that fits for me. You're going to say, that fits for me. Yes, Hazel, I will. You're going to say, that fits for me, or it doesn't. All of this will not apply to you, and that's okay. It's like, I'm going to give you what I got to give, and I think this will solve a lot of problems, not just in your business life, but in your actual life. Is we have a lot of conversations with people who give us advice, or we go to church, or we talk to our friends, and they give us advice about maybe, I don't know, our life, our house, our kids, our business, and we bristle because they said one thing that's wrong and doesn't fit into your life. I need you to take this motto, okay? Take what fits and leave the rest. So there's going to be things I say that really resonate with you. You're going to get suggestions from people here that really resonate with you. Take the good and just don't worry about the other stuff. Not everything's going to fit, okay? So that's the first rule. The second rule is you're going to pray, trust, and do. I am very aware that you can hear things that you're supposed to hear, because God can make you hear things that you're supposed to hear, even if I don't say that exactly right? And so I have to trust that. So You're going to pray to know what you're supposed to do, and then you're going to trust that you have the ability and the potential to do it. And then you're going to do what you're told to do here, okay? And you're not going to do everything I say, right? Absolutely not. So 2 rules are this: take what fits, leave the rest. Number 2, pray, trust, do, okay? That's all. Now it's not on me. It's on you. You get to decide. And thank you, Brittany. The phone number for worksheets is 951-309-7885. If you just text summer, you'll get an odd summer. Only the word summer. Don't text anything else. Just summer. And you will get the link to get the worksheets. Okay? So those are my 2 rules. Let's get going. So I have some worksheets for you. Now, when you get the email, you're going to see 3 PDFs. One of the PDFs is for you, one's for a boy kid, one's for a girl kid, okay? But the first thing that we need to do is print out these, or if you're just writing down, it doesn't matter, is we are going to figure out your ideal week for the summer, okay? Here, I'm getting my hair cut in a matter of minutes. Have you ever gone to like get your hair cut and you take this picture and you show the lady and she cuts your hair and you're like, I'm so disappointed. That does not look like the picture. When the real problem is not the hair person who cut your hair, but the real problem is you took a picture of someone with naturally beautiful big hair and you have stick straight hair. The problem is not the cut. The problem is that you're trying to fit someone else's hair into your hair and it's never going to work. And that is what is happening probably in your business too, is that we have these grand expectations. We're very optimistic about what we're going to get done. We're very optimistic about the life that, like the business we're going to build in the summer in our actual life, and we forget what our actual life looks like, okay? So if I plan to go live, let's just pretend that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grow my Instagram. I'm going to go live every day for an hour, and then I actually look at my life and that doesn't work. Like I say, that's what I'm going to do. Brittany says, creme brulee can never be Jell-O. That is true. I'm never going to get that full, big, naturally curly hair because that is not how my hair looks. So that is why the first step in creating your summer that's going to work for you is to create your ideal weekly schedule. Your ideal weekly schedule. So I'm going to tell you, I am not really a planner. I mean, I'm a planner, but I don't plan by the minute. I don't even plan by the hour. I like to do like a general plan of what I want my life to look like. And that is why this worksheet, or you can just write it down on a piece of paper. I don't care. But this is just to help you so that you can do some block scheduling. That's what I do, block scheduling. So I'm going to tell you mine, and this is what I have used actually through my whole motherhood life. The ideal week looks like this. In the morning, I don't get my kids up. This is summer, okay? In the morning, my kids get up and they have some time in the morning, probably till about 9:30 or 10, where they're doing whatever they want. I believe what's worked for me is what I should say. What's worked for me is that we do not do screens or anything in the morning. And this is why. I think it puts us on a bad footing for the rest of the day. And also, I end up using all of my allotted screen time, like that I'm like, hey, my kids can have like an hour or 2 on a movie or iPads or whatever. If I use up all of my time on that in the morning, then I'm sad. I'm really sad. And so I like to, so I have screen time in the afternoon, and during that time, I know when that time is, and so that's the time I reserve for getting more things done. So during the summer, again, this is my weekly schedule. They get up at like, I don't know, whatever. We have breakfast. They're ready to go at 9:30 or 10, and then we go and do something. So when I had babies, like little teeny babies and only toddlers, we would have a park day. We would have a swim day. We would have a library day. We'd have a friend day. And I would just cycle through those different days because I had to get out of the house and I had to do something with my kids to wear them out. Okay? It looks a little bit different for me now because I have older kids. Mostly we just have swim days. And my kids have a list of things that they can do during the morning that do not require my assistance. Now, if you have a 2-year-old, this looks different. Maybe that looks like playing with blocks, or, it's color time or whatever. But you are going to create this ideal week, how you want it to look. Do we have questions about the ideal week? This is loose. This is a loose ideal week, because I just want you to actually look at what your life is. As I just want to work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. That is great, but I want you to look at your life and say, am I trying to make creme brulee out of Jell-O? Maybe you missed that joke. But I want you to look at your life. Is that true? Is that going to work for your family? Maybe. Not for mine, because I have a Scarlett who finds me no matter where I am. So that is your step number 1, is I want you to think about, what does your life actually look like, and how do you want your summer to actually look, and create your ideal schedule. Now, I say ideal because once I've created it, I have it in my head. I can share it with my kids if I want, but then we can set up some expectations for my kids, right? So they, Scarlett does have a specific set of skills. Yep, she does. So then we can make decisions based on that, because I want the next idea for you. After you do the ideal, then you can think about your summer goals, because I don't want you to create a summer goal that is going to set you up for failure, right? Like if you're like, I am going to write a book over the summer and I'm going to spend 10 hours a day writing that book, but then you realize you have kids and that's a terrible goal. Let's just figure that out up front. Let's have some attainable goals that also fit in with like actually having a summer for our kids. Yes. Okay, so Spark Goodness says, I feel like with teenagers, we do have to be flexible. Sometimes I have a lot of downtime and sometimes I'm in the car most of the day. Absolutely. So that is why I am creating this ideal summer schedule. It's going to go out the window some days, and I'm not going to feel bad, because I feel like if some days it's like, yes, today's been a car day, and that was yesterday. I ran my kids around like to different things all day. And then, but if I know tomorrow is going to be like a relatively calmer day, then I can say, okay, I'm going to get that work done tomorrow because I know what time I'm going to be there-ish. So this is just loose, but I want us to actually just take a look. I want us to actually take a look at our life and say, this is what my life this summer is going to look like. Does this mean that if someone calls and they're like, hey, let's go to the beach, because I live in California, and I'm like, sorry, I have to stick to my ideal weekly schedule. Absolutely not, right? This is not what we're doing. But I think just being very clear on the expectations. I probably hammered that home too much, but we're going to get our ideal summer weekly schedule out. And then this is for you. You are going to make your goals with that summer schedule in mind. Okay. I just say choose 1 or 2 big goals that you want to accomplish this summer. And if you're in Money Makers, we're diving deeper into this goal system. I'll be there soon, McKenna. And then you're going to write down what you have to do every day to accomplish that goal, what you have to write down what you have to do every week to accomplish that goal, and what you have to do every month to accomplish that goal. And with that, like, let's talk about what that means. Daily things are maybe show up on Instagram. Weekly things, an example would be a live on Instagram. Monthly things is that you have a monthly sale or a monthly giveaway, whatever. Let's say it was to grow on Instagram. Then those are 3 things that you do. Then you can go to the next page and you are going to write out your habits or tasks that you want to do every day, week, or month, and put them here, and then you can check them off as you go. This is the actual system I am teaching my kids right now, because here is the thing. I am not a cruise ship director in the summer. I'm not willing to take that on. And what I mean by that is I am not willing to plan every moment of my kids' days. And I want them to learn how to have goals and check them off. So that's why I gave you these worksheets. I had my kids, I talked to them and I was like, hey, you're going to have a couple hours a day where you get to decide what you want that to look like. And so we're going to make some goals and then we'll help you get there, whatever that means. So we went through and we made physical, mental, spiritual, and fun goals. So like one of my son, Nixon, he wants to learn to be a magician. Like he wants to learn all of that. He has some kits anyway. And so he is spending some of his time learning that. Like goals don't have to be sad. They can be so fun. And so I just had them go through and say, hey, this is what my goals are. And then depending on how old your kids are, like I have Scarlett will want to do this one. I have 2 goals sheets. My older kids do this one where they get to check off the boxes every day. And my younger ones can have this. They don't have to be sad. That's true. Goals can be so fun. So let me tell you some of the things that my kids are doing. Like my daughter wants to be better at roller skating. She got roller skates and can't stand up very well. And so she put on hers that she wants to roller skate for 15 or 20 minutes a day. That's fun. If you do not have the worksheets, you can text Summer to 951-309-7885. Okay. And then I just am having my kids do this. Now, what this is doing for me is it's freeing me up from their time to be my responsibility all the time, right? Because that's where I found the problem is that kids come to me and they say they're bored. First of all, bored is not a bad feeling. That's actually an okay feeling for kids to have. They need to figure out stuff. They need to figure out what to do. And they need to figure out that I'm not going to, thanks, Brittany. I guess I'm just not in charge of their every moment of fun. And that's true. I'm, again, not a cruise director. So this has allowed for us to have, just to have a family meeting. And I actually just met with each of my kids and I was like, hey, what do you want to get done? I have a month before I go to Utah. And so I'm like, hey, we have a month. What do you want to accomplish in that month? And 2 of my kids are learning how to play the ukulele. So I found someone who will teach them how to play the ukulele and they practice every day. So that goes into the daily task list. My other son made the high school soccer team. So he is running and doing soccer skills and stuff. And yes, kids come up with amazing things when they're bored. So, I was talking fast. So let me just go through some of the steps. First of all, number 1 is you're going to find your ideal. Number 2 is you're going to make your goals and set your life up like it's actually going to be. And 3, help your kids with their goals. And then number 4, be ready to adjust and stand your ground when necessary. Now, Elizabeth already said that her kids are having a mutiny because of the goal sheets, which is fine. You get to decide how much you want to implement this. But when you are starting, first of all, don't make your kids do goals that they don't want to do. This is summer. I mean, that's not true. I put goals on there and I make my kids read and they do want to do it, but sometimes I make them do it. But have them put things that are fun and have them agree to a reward when they're done and then stand by that. Because I know that the kids aren't going to do whatever you want to do all the time. But sometimes you have to say, sorry, you don't get to watch a show, watch a movie, play on the iPad until this and this is done. And stand by that because kids want to be parented and they'll want to learn. They'll want all of the benefits of you parenting them in 20 years anyway. So put it in now. Okay, now here is where I would love some questions and recommendations. And the Messy Bun podcast has a really good recommendation coming up. So get ready for this. When my kids tell me they're bored, I make them watch a TED Talk that talks about the power of boredom. This is the best. Okay, so what other things do you do when your kids are bored? What do you do? Do you have any suggestions for that? While you're typing, and I do expect you to type because I talked already. Now it's your turn. But I had someone I had someone text me. It's Mama Shefsky, if you're here. She was like, okay, are you ready to take me on? And she's like, I have a baby. A baby is due in 2 weeks, and I have a 2-year-old. Like, how am I going to have a summer schedule? This is where you have to look at your actual life, and you have to decide exactly how much work you want to do when you have a newborn. Like, I can't magically say you're going to have energy and that you're not going to have mastitis. I mean, I really pray that you don't. But I'm just saying, like, that is the reality of having a newborn, is that you probably have a week where you're at least, where you're, Libby's like, yeah, exactly. You're going to have some time when you are not going to be able to work. So toddler life is crazy. That is true. But I also don't want you to fall into the trap that you are going to, that you're going to have more time when your kids are older. It's just different time. My kids do not nap, and they go to bed at 10 p.m. or later right now because it's summer. Okay? So as a mom, we just have to figure out when those downtime, like, I don't have to be by my kids all the time to make sure that they don't choke or pick up a knife or torture the cat. That's not true. Scarlett does still torture the cat. But like, I understand I don't have that toddler, so I don't have to, that vigilance is a different kind of vigilance, right? Like, you understand. Toddlers are a different thing. But now my kids are older and their problems are a little bit more complex, and they need more like time, and they go to sleep probably later than I do sometimes. Oh, good. I really do hope these worksheets help you. Okay. Lindsay has been part of my this community for a while because she is with me. What do I do when my kids get bored? I give them popsicles and send them outside. Listen, I am a proponent for a lot of popsicles. and one of the rules is that they have to eat them outside. So, I know. Okay, so we have a question. Simply Loved Designs. How do you balance their time to be bored and also spend time with them and be present in their lives? So this is where I am a mom, and your motherhood's going to look very different, but I'm going to tell you, like, getting down on the floor and playing Legos with my kids is not necessarily torture, but I do fall asleep. So I am not the mom who is like building Legos or playing dolls. Like, that's just not how I mother. It's not where my skills are best used. I am a mom who likes to go and do, and I love being a part of the creation of stuff. So when my kids were little, I would go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's and buy all of the craft kits were like $1 to $3. And so I would I would do that all the time. So that's one day is I'd go to Joann's and I'd bring them with me, and that's an outing, and we'd go buy the craft things and then come home and do them. And then we had stuff for other times during the week. So decide how you like to be the mom and how you like to connect. I have to be in motion. If we stop and we're playing a game, I fall asleep. And so how do you like to connect with your kids? How do your kids like to connect with you? So I played softball with my daughter because that's so fun for me, and I like to be a part of that. Figure that out for you, and it's going to look different, and that's okay. And you still, I don't know. I will spend money like on craft kits and things that help my kids be more creative, like help them with education, and also a lot of I try to create a space. I'm not a clean freak. I'm going to tell you. I'm clean. My house is clean, but I'm not afraid of a mess. And so I would get paint. Let's spread out a big roll of paper and let my kids paint. And then I'm just going to throw them in the tub or hose them off or put them in the pool afterwards. Like, I don't get really too worked up about that. Okay, so and another thing I want to talk about is Mama Lisa, yes. Dollar Spot at Target has lots of fun projects, yes. And like the dollar store, they have a bunch of stuff. So go find stuff and fill that up for, like, do it. I don't know. Maybe you want to, I like to have an outing, and it's kind of exciting to go to the dollar store or go to Target and buy stuff like for your kids. And that is fun and exciting. Okay. Something else I had. Okay, so McKenna says, I make sure we plan at least one fun family activity per week, and then I really carefully guard my work time. Dang it, I can't read it. I guard my work time so that when it's done, I can be fully present with my kids. Okay, I think this is really, really important, because, and why I think it's important to look at what your business and your life actually looks like. I try to look and see like what it actually takes for me to just maintain my business. So there are things, I have a coaching group, right? And it's the best around. If you're not a part of it, you need to DM me and you should come join Moneymakers. But I have a coaching group and I'm committed. I show up every day and we have coaching calls. Okay, so that is something that I am committed to, and I have to do that for my business to run. I have a podcast. So like, what is it? So I have to record 4 podcasts a month. I am doing a Biz Mom Show. You're on it. Like, so look at what your business actually takes to run, to maintain it. And then you have to do that. Like if you're a business and you want this business and you're like, this is what I need it to do to actually make any money this summer, you have to do that, and you have to guard your time. I think that's really important. Okay, so McKenna had another question for ideas for goals for kids under 4. One of the things I would love your ideas. This is a group effort. Some of the things we're doing, like for Scarlett, is like with, she wants to learn like to draw and things. And so I'm going to say this again. I use technology as a tool. Okay. Technology is a tool. So, there's like Art Hub for Kids on YouTube that just takes kids through drawing things. And so you can do that. I think under 4, the goals are going to be, obviously much different, but I would set up, like, we have craft time, like we do crafts. So, and, I would have reading time. Laura has some good ones. Laurel, let's see. Laura, tying shoes, hopscotch, hula hooping. Oh, that's so fun. So think about like, what do your kids want to do and learn? But for me, at like probably 5 and under, I am helping them more with that, right? Like I'm saying, okay, we want her to be more creative. So we're going to do Art Hub for Kids. We're going to have some crafts every day. I usually just have like art supplies where, numbers, letters, pre-K kind of stuff. I used to with all of my kids, I haven't this year, but I would go to Costco or Sam's Club, and they have those workbooks that are, they're just workbooks. And so like they had like for kindergarten, I have Scarlett's going to kindergarten next year. Those workbooks just help you with your letters, your colors, so that she's ready to go. And it was always something that they could do mostly on their own. They have a good pre-K one. So if you have like 4-year-olds, that works because it's just like, you might have to like direct like this is, we're going to trace these or color these blue or whatever. But, I got those for my kids, and my kids love those kind of things. Yes. And Dollar Store have tons of those too. Okay, Mama Lisa loves summer bridge books. They have school stuff plus a physical fit section for each day. Catherine, I love this one. We have a goal to get our eyes in the water when we jump in. That's awesome, because Scarlett just had swim lessons, and my goal for her this summer is to learn how to swim and to start to learn how to read. Like, it's obviously going to be a little different if you have like a 4-year-old, but then a 12 or a 14-year-old. But your kids are progressing, right? Your kids are progressing no matter how old they are. Yes. Catherine says, Dollar Store has a lot of fun teacher school stuff. I wanted to go crazy the other day. So go and just go wild. Go spend $20 at the Dollar Store. and do that. I also, if you have young kids, I would always have like water time activities outside. So that consisted of having like a spray bottle, and they could go, I would say, hey, will you go clean the plants outside? And they sprayed to their heart's content. You can take like a cup of water and like one of those foam paintbrushes and have them paint things on the sidewalk. You can have them, well, a lot of times when they were little, I would really just fill up a bowl of water. Like I have big, huge bowls, and I would put water in them, and then I would give them like teaspoons and cups and different kitchen stuff, and they would just play in them in the water outside, and they're going to get wet, and that's okay. That's cool. It's hot. It's summer. And it doesn't have to be a huge deal. Okay. This is a good one. McKenna from Peep says, I always have a list on my phone for ideas that come when I'm not working. I write them down so I'll come back to them during work time so I can stay present. So this is genius. So I have, I think a list on your phone is awesome. If you see me, I probably have a notebook in my hand because of that. Because ideas come all the time. So I will just have like a to-do list that I will just add to throughout the day, so that when I sit down and I have work time, I know exactly what I need to get done, but I can still maintain like my presence with my kids. Orbeez are a great idea. Orbeez are the best and the worst, because when they go everywhere, which they will, it's fine, they dry up. Orbeez are the little round things that they start small, and then you put them in water, and they get big, and they're really fun. But like, just buy some stuff like that that's going to get your kids to play outside and to play together. Why don't you just go ahead and make some new Play-Doh? That is going to give you some time. Friday, we're in love. Did a free download of 150 activities for kids with tons of quiet time and learning activities kids can do by you while you work. Yes. Most cities have summer day festivals that have a lot of kid activities. It would be fun for free outing. Yep. Amy from My 4Ts says, we filled a little plastic pool outside with Orbeez. Oh my goodness, that is so fun. That is so fun. And you can just jump in them. Every summer I would just get one of those plastic pools, and we have a pool just up the street at my in-laws, but we would just fill that up, and my kids would fill that up. They would take some, tools, take some cups and stuff, and spend time out there. Like, it doesn't have to be huge to get your kids out there. But what's going to help you is if you know that what your ideal summer schedule looks like. If you don't have the worksheets, you can still get them. But like, say, this is what we're going to do each day. This is kind of the times we're going to do this. And just know that you can do it. Yes, I saw Brooke Romney had a list. Fridays We're in Love has a list. I saw Lisa from Handlander Designs has a calendar you can print out and put on your wall, which is awesome, because then, because my kids ask me, like, when are we going to Utah? When are we doing this? And you can just put it on the calendar and have it on the wall. Anyone else who has resources? I saw, what's her name? She's changed her name. Brittany Hanks. What is she? Something about home. But she has some worksheets, I think, for kids and some other great things. So, and last year she did a whole series of how to, like what you should be teaching your kids to be adults. Home and Kind, thank you. 8-minute Classes has a calendar too. Lively Hope also had a calendar for the summer with ideas Perfect. Okay, so there are a lot of great resources out there. There's a lot of moms in businesses who are giving you resources. Thank you, Friday We're in Love. There is hers, Summer Activities for Kids. She has 150. That's awesome. You guys, I love this community because we're all trying to figure this out. And here's the thing. It's not going to be perfect. It's not. Oh, Simply Love Designs has a free summer bucket list. Hey, if you're on here and you have a free thing for summer, will you DM me with a link? Because I would love to put together like a resource guide. And if you know someone who has a link, will you DM me as well? And I'll put together a resource guide so that we can have these. This is brilliant. We're working together. And sometimes in the chat, it just goes and you don't see it. So DM me if you have a guide and I'll put something together for us. So you can have a great summer. You can do your work. I want you to look at what your summer is actually going to look like, how much time you actually have, then make your goals accordingly, and then make some plans about, and I'm helping my kids have goals so they have stuff to do during the summer, and help them create that and then adjust as necessary, and also be ready to stand your ground. Those are my four tips. You guys, what do you think? This is a Biz Mom Show. Is this fun? I love talking to you and hearing your advice on how you can do this business mom life, because we're doing it. And there aren't that many people who are talking about how to do it. And so I love this real life, this show, if you will. It makes me super, super happy. So thanks you guys for joining me today. I actually am about... wait, before we do this, next week, do you want to do it next week? Do I do this every Thursday? Yes? I think we should do it. Maybe next week we'll talk about cleaning or jobs. I don't know. We'll talk. Come visit me in my stories and you can give me your suggestions. I'm getting my hair cut today. It's happening. This is happening. So we'll see you next week. You guys are the best. And get your worksheets. And we'll see you next time.